everyone, thanks for tuning in to Moving the Chains with Ashmere here on Nuts and Bolts Sports. Welcome back, Happy New Year. It's been a long time since I've recorded a video, but I feel like there has been a lot of chaos until the end of the year. I was traveling to LA, I went to the Rose Bowl, that was super fun. I just have been like keeping up with sports from a distance, and I didn't have time to like sit down and talk about everything, even though last week definitely was crazy and the week before. So let's just jump right in to some football. For college football, I'm gonna have to do a different video on that because I feel like since the playoffs are tomorrow, the NFL needs a little more attention than college football does. So first of all, let's start with the fourth and flop, which will be the Patriots, because they lost to the Miami Dolphins and didn't get a bye week? Question mark? Like, how could that have happened? I was very confused when I was watching that game. I was also watching the Raider game simultaneously because that was terrible. But you know how I feel like it was very strange. Maybe it was because it was the last season in Oakland, but I feel like ESPN and NFL and everybody was like always talking about the possibilities of Raiders making it to the playoffs, and I don't know why it was highlighted so much. Who wants to watch Derek Carr underperform again in one last time in Oakland? I know I didn't want to see that. So just that, you know, there was like, if Miami wins and Cleveland wins and the Titans lose, and like all these different possibilities needed to occur in order for the Raiders to make it to the playoffs. And for Miami to win, I thought that was just Ryan Fitzpatrick throws a touchdown. They were behind by 3. It was a very cool performance. I think Miami has a great season up ahead, and this also proved to be the Patriots are not as A1 as they used to be. Tom Brady has definitely been like up and down the entire season. He hasn't been as consistent as he usually is, and I feel like that's a little concerning since tomorrow they're playing the Titans, and Ryan Tannehill is just like, wow, magic. He's playing so well. Him and AJ Brown are a great unit on the field, and the passing game for him has been like one of the best of the season, and so from any team, I feel like and so it's just gonna be a good matchup tomorrow. I don't know if the Patriots offense is going to be as strong as they have been, simply because I think the Titans are hungrier to win in this matchup. They are playing in Foxborough, so that is not an easy place to play, especially for, you know, wild card playoffs. It's just going to be home field advantage. That thing speaks tried and true. So good luck. I predict the Titans could win, but I feel like it'll be a very close game, like by 1.3 points. And I only say so simply because of Ryan Tannehill's adrenaline. Like, he will run the ball down the field even if he sees an open slot. He's just like very motivated to win, and I feel like that drive has pushed the Titans to where they are now. And Derrick Henry is a monster, okay? Like, monster on the rushing game. So that is my flop team, and then kind of like my prediction for tomorrow. My highlighted game obviously was the game everybody was watching on Sunday night, the Niners versus Seattle in Seattle, a redemption game because the Niners had lost last time at home, and then they needed to go there, and in order to gain a bye week, they had to come in and win. And this game was so close. Like, it was just, I don't even know how to put it into words, the performance by each of these teams. Russell Wilson is continuously playing 115% of his game, and it's just fun to watch. The Niners, George Kittle, that guy is just like a monster in himself. Him and Jimmy are a great pair together, and I feel like he's the only person that can really get open for him. It's hard for anybody else to get open on the sidelines, and George Kittle is always cutting in short line of the defense so that he can catch the ball for him and kind of get extra yardage, and his stiff arm is just like too strong. So that game was definitely one of the best of the season. I know I said that about the first time they played each other, but I just feel like every time these two match up, they play superbly. They're strong offensively. Jimmy had thrown for 285 yards, Russell for 233. They're just playing like very smart football, and I think they both know what's at stake right now. So for the Seattle game on Sunday, I do predict they're going to beat Philadelphia, and that's only because Philly has a lot of people on their team that are kind of still learning and growing and developing. Carson Wentz has come back. He has not been playing too well, in my opinion, throughout the year, but he's definitely shown that he is worth, he's what the Eagles need in order to succeed, kind of like how Seattle needs Russell in order to succeed. So Philadelphia's offense is what I'm worried about. The defense is not too tricky, but the Seattle offense is definitely a threat. I mean, they've got Hollister out there. They've got Tyler Lockett, Metcalf. Like, there's just a lot more people that Russell can depend on. And so against Philadelphia's kind of like figuring out team, I don't think it'll be too difficult. And it is in Philadelphia, which is going to be home field advantage, like I said. But I just feel like at the end of the day, Russell's going to shine and at least win by 3 to 6 points. So I feel like another hot topic that's been going on right now is like the number of coaches that have been fired and circled within the industry. So Ron Rivera was let go from the Carolina Panthers, and now he's moved on to the Washington Redskins, which I feel like is a great move for them. Jack Del Rio is also there as a defensive head coach. Like, I feel like the two of them are going to be a great partnership together, because I love Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera. Their personalities, the way they carry themselves, I just feel like they're going to be able to transform the Redskins to what they need to be in a team. And I think they've been playing a lot better since the end of the season. They've figured out a little bit of a rhythm, and I just think they need somebody that's going to come in and kind of like compose the team as a whole. So that's one thing. And goodbye, Freddie Kitchens. See you later in Cleveland. I don't know how much longer it was going to take the Cleveland corporate office to kick him out. I mean, they have so many good people. Like, the number of talented players that are on that team is just like, there should have been more wins. They should be in the playoffs right now. Like, there just should have been a better expectation for the team. I mean, they were predicted to be in the Super Bowl when we found out that OBJ was being traded over there. So I am excited to see if the Cleveland Browns pick up Mike McCarthy, the old Green Bay Packers coach, because, I mean, he was leading Aaron Rodgers to unlimited seasons that he was playing very well, and then I think Rodgers kind of became a diva last year, and then that's why they let McCarthy go. But other than that, he's a very strong head coach. He's got great playmaking skills, and I think he'll be able to carry this team and rebuild them into something that is way more successful than they've been, because this year was just like, the number of times people had predicted the Cleveland Browns were going to win and then they didn't was just like very strange. Like, they lost their last game of the season against the Bengals, who literally are the worst team in the NFL. And finally, Jason Garrett from the Cowboys. I think it's kind of like a similar situation with Kitchens, except I don't think Jason Garrett is as disrespectful as Freddie Kitchens is. Sorry if I'm putting a little too much hate on him. I just, like I mentioned in another video, I didn't like how he wore that t-shirt after the Steelers encounter. I just feel like there's a lot of things that he needs to like reevaluate from the season. But Jason Garrett's been with the Cowboys for 9 years, but he had such a strong offense himself and wasn't able to carry the Cowboys to the wildcard position because they lost to Philly, and I just think they should have beat Philadelphia. I mean, this is like a suspended offense. There's all these players that are injured, and they've lost a ton of lethal weapons that they could have utilized in the year. And so for the Cowboys to not win, I just don't think that should have been, I don't think that should have happened. I think they should have played a lot better, different play calling, you know, like they obliterated the Rams, but then they weren't able to beat the Bills on Thanksgiving. I feel like those are two things that the Cowboys should take into consideration for next year when they're choosing their head coach. I just think Mike McCarthy kind of sounds like my favorite person. It would have been Ron Rivera, because I think he would have smacked Cleveland into shape. But since he's already been scooped up by the Redskins, McCarthy's kind of like the next best look out there. Since there are 4 games this weekend, I'm going to talk about 2 more. So Bills and the Texans. I feel like the Bills defense is going to put a lot of pressure on the rushing game, and so it'll leave Deshaun a little more space for the passing game. Not too many deep passes. I do think he'll have to be cautious and have a combination of both, but just making sure that he's utilizing Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson and making sure that they're able to go back and forth, because the Bills defense has been one of the best in the season, like I've mentioned, and so that'll be their main focus, is to shut Deshaun down 3 and out as many times as they can. But Josh Allen, you know, he's been playing well himself, but I predict the Bills to win. Just because I feel like the Texans shouldn't be as back and forth as they have been all year. Like, there's so many games that they should have won that they lost. That was just due to the defense closing in on him and not providing him any time to get the ball down the field. And so I feel like if he's closed off in those situations, like against the Broncos, who shut him down like early in the first half, like there was no way of coming back. He did a little bit, but I mean, in the beginning, it was like, you might as well turn the TV off. You weren't even going to believe that Houston was going to come back in the way that they did. So just situations like that, I feel like this is kind of going to be similar to that, and the Bills' defense it's A1. So I predict the Bills to win, but like by 3 points. And then for the Vikings and the Saints, I feel so bad that Kirk Cousins has to go through this because the Saints are hungry from last year. They're hungry from this year. Like, they've been short called on a ton of different games. And so I feel like they're just fighting for the top spot in the Super Bowl. And Kirk Cousins has been playing the best he's played for a while. And I feel like the Vikings offense is amazing, but it's just going to be hard not to see Michael Thomas and Drew Brees just like dropping dimes down the field, especially because Michael Thomas always figures out a way to get open. I truly don't get it. That guy is always open. Like, you know, Drew Brees and him have like a magnetic connection on the field. Why is he open on the sideline for like a 15-yard pass? I have no clue. So I think the Vikings defense just needs to be smart on, you know, guarding their men, but it's also going to come down to how amazing Drew Brees is when he's got the ball in his hands. So I picked the Saints to win, probably by 7, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good football coming up. It's like very sad that it's already coming to an end. College football, we've got the game on the 13th against Clemson and LSU, which will be very exciting. But other than that, I mean, it's been a long time since I've chatted here. So, you know, looking forward to some live highlights tomorrow on the Nuts and Bolts Instagram. And everybody just have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Oh my.